So could this really impact not just the future of the contract that Elon Musk has got, but also how the government contracts with those that have been awarded moving forward in contracts, for example. So this conflict of interest, the subject matter, it's such high stakes. Contracts can have severe consequences. Business owners, you know this already, but I'm just saying this to you just to let you know that we still need to do things in the right way to meet these contract needs. We don't have anything special that we can add apart from what we can do and get the contract on its merit. But also what would be nice to know is, what was the reason if you didn't get a contract? Well, what was the reason you didn't get it? There's the scoring criteria. You should be able to see that, or you should at least be able to know what it was that you didn't do right in order to not get that contract, for example. So, like I said, a conflict of interest is a high stake, and it does have severe consequences, and it can lead to biased decision making, reducing the competition and the lack of accountability. If the decisions are made based on personal gain rather than the best interest of the public and the national security, for example, that's internet, for example, it can undermine the integrity of the entire contract process. So this affects the trust that citizens and other businesses place in both the private company sector and the government institution as well. So when you look at, for example, the question of whether a company's access to the government funding and contracts can be used to serve a political or personal goal, because this can become even more pressing. So ensuring that decisions are transparent and made in the best interest. And yes, I understand that they're looking at things and they're going into things really deeply, for example, but it's kind of like you've got your hand in two pieces of the pie, for example, and you want it all, for example, and others may not be getting a look in, for example. So we don't know what this is going to come out with. We don't know what these investigations could lead to, for example, in light of the private-public relationships in contracting, which is regulated. We don't know, because of this happening, we don't know what is going to, be added on to contract regulations, for example. Is this going to mean we've got another hoop to jump over to show evidence that we are complying and that there's no conflict of interest, and that we've proved that that there's no special relationship here, for example? So I really want you to think about you and your business, and thinking about this conflict of interest, and creating a policy, if you can do, for your organization. If not, let me know, and I can help you as well, for example. But you need to create a policy so that those that are dealing with or going to be working on a particular contract, that there's no connection there whatsoever. because that can come to bite you in the bum, a year down the line or 2 years down the line, for example. And then you could lose everything, for example, that you've worked so hard for. And this is the reason why I thought it would be such a good time for me to mention about Elon Musk and to show this as a good example of what could be seen as a conflict of interest. And this is why I've been breaking this down with you, because we all know that, the eyes are on Elon Musk, the eyes are on Trump, the eyes are on the world, for example. But we need to also be aware of our own business and what we need to do inside of our business. I always try and say this: mind your own business, because if you don't mind your own business, who is going to? And that is what I wanted to share that with you at the end. So thank you so much. And if you're tired of struggling, trying to get these contracts, for example, trying to understand these contracts, join us for our contracts bootcamp, which we hold monthly as well. You can book a free 15-minute appointment with myself and my team, and we will gladly go through things. We can even help discuss with you in terms of, your policies. What do you have in place for this to prevent this non-conflict of interest, for example? So let me know what you think about this, because I wanted to really share with you how you can really get involved in something that you didn't even realize that you got involved in. So, like I said, and like I'm going to say again, with Elon Musk, he's got a dual role, and it's a very unique position as both a private entrepreneur and also a government contractor, and is also, having discussions, and the Doge team have been set up as well. The recent contract of 400 million that was awarded, it's highlighting, people are questioning things and things like that. So just think about not creating tension. Okay, you want to be able to apply for a contract without it being contentious. And I think that this is what the problem is happening here. And I'm just guessing my view, but I'm also looking at what other people are saying as well. And the thought of the consequences of a conflict of interest, which is what no business wants. You want to be able to grow your business. You don't want to be involved in any consequences of a conflict of interest. So what lessons have you learned today from this, and it's made you think? I'd love to hear your comments of what you think. And make sure that you've got a robust compliance framework in place so that you have the essential tools to navigate any potential conflict effectively and quickly. You want to nip that in the bud so that you can stay proactive and adopt the right policies that promote ethical standards. That is the key. Now, when you think about the transparency and ethical standards, then you may need to do a training. After learning about this today and learning about Elon Musk, for example, it's really made me really think that there's a training program here for this, that you as the business owner need to to implement in your own business so that you never come across something that could jeopardize what you've worked so hard for over all of these years. So I want to encourage you to make sure that you cultivate a culture where transparency is paramount. I'm sharing these these examples with you so that you as the company will thrive and you'll implement these trainings into your organization. And with a clear structure, you'll have a clear roadmap to your organization. So I want you to be able to really take this on board, and I hope that you've managed to think about what I've said today, and I hope that you've found this helpful in your organization, and I really do appreciate your comments. So let me just have a look here. Wow. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that information. That is very informative. And that's quite a lot of information there that's in the chat. So, wow. Okay. See, it's good to hear people's views. It really is. So thank you. See, I didn't know all of this that you've just put into the chat. Thank you. Wow. Okay. So you've mentioned about it could impact financial policy decisions. Yeah. So I believe this happening. I think that business owners really need to also look at this and use this as possible case studies as well. Thank you so much for giving me that information, because I didn't even realize that at all. So I appreciate you letting me know. Alex, I appreciate what you've just said, and it is a lot of information. I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much. It's going to give me some food for thought, and I'll be going through what you've put here